Heidi's offering to stay and answer questions. So if you have an unanswered question and you want to hang on, then
awesome.
If you're willing to do that, Nadra.
Yeah, I'm willing.
And we can put Heidi and you back up on the screen and get a few of these questions in, because there were some good ones.
There were some.
That's okay. And thank you to Heidi for offering that.
Absolutely. And Jennifer, I'm happy to, there's lots of things I have ideas on what you can all be doing now, even with the backdrop of 54 passing, that will help expedite our transition away from this plastic packaging that's causing so much trouble. Perfect. Do you have any questions you want to?
Yeah, so let's see. What question should we start off with? There were
you see the one from Chris Weiss.
I'm on this webinar for Washington, D.C. because many zero waste advocates on the side of the Mississippi are concerned that this bill gives industry too much control and sets a challenging precedent. I know a number of zero waste organizations in California are not happy, but are being quiet about it. What can you say to make us feel better about the result?
Well, hopefully I just went through the bill so that you're more comfortable when the state is given the authority to not only fine $50,000 a day, but to actually revoke the PRO, which has never been done before. I think that is a huge threat. The companies do not want the state to take over the program or to give it to another group that would spend more of their money. So they're going to work very hard to try and keep control of the program and keep CalRecycle happy, which means follow the regs and follow the rules. And we have so much in transparency with the annual report, with all the data by unit, by weight, by material type. Honestly, we tried multiple times to think of how could they try to get around this, and we would plug those holes. I can't think of anything, as long as the state is willing to use the tools that we gave them in a timely way. I don't see any possibility of this failing. I don't think they could, because if they start to, the PRO is going to get revoked. So I think there's a lot of people that are just very concerned that producers be in charge of anything. And I've heard Judith say actually what I used to say, but in a different way and for a different reason. She'll say, well, the fox is watching the chicken coop. And I've always said that. The producers have caused this problem. The producers have to help solve it. They're the ones that have to change design and marketing and what materials they use and use recycled content, et cetera. But at the end of the day, they are not going to pay millions of dollars for a system they have zero control over. And it's impossible to pass those bills. So we did our very level best to make sure that while they're paying and they're in control, we've got the advisory committee, we've got fines, we've got transparency, we've had the mask. We want to be a 501c6. No, that's an association for member benefit. That's not good enough. It has to be for public benefit. And then the AG can go in. So I hope that makes you feel better. I really think that we've finally found the best possible thing that we could have done at this point in time, because the alternative to me was untenable, which is for the fourth year straight, we were going to fail to pass a bill in a government that had 2/3 majority and an aligned governor. And we were going to go to the ballot and put the public through months of sound bites and misinformation coming, from the two sides about what that ballot measure is. And there's no way for people to figure out something this complicated. So I really worried in this economy too, could it pass? So to me, this is now, they know the stake is in the ground. And just to give you another thing that'll make you feel better, I got a call from literally CEO of one of the largest packaging companies in this country. He is so excited about this bill. He said, finally, I can tell my clients, the big companies, that they have to start looking to more sustainable options. I've been trying to coach them in that direction. Now they have to. And so it's already changing how companies are even encouraging the types of packaging that these companies are going to use. So it's already working. It's already starting. That's great. Hopefully that answers that question.
Thank you. And then I think I'm going through, so forgive me, I'm trying to navigate the questions and the comments. But I did want to say we have a attendee, Harry Kakua from Uganda. I think he is the furthest attendee. So thank you for attending. I'm happy that we were able to get the message of this webinar, and I hope that you will be able to invite a friend and come to the other webinars that we're going to have. And then also there was a question, will the definition for reusable be included in this bill? And if so, what does that mean?
Boy, I'd have to pull the bill up. I didn't bring all my paperwork with me, but we did say, I believe we defined what is refillable. And then the regs will further flesh out. And so what I say to everybody is, we just want a really big fight. We just got a really big thing, but we are not done by any means. The hard work and that lockjaw, we got to stay locked on. We got to keep following this all the way through to make sure this works as intended. If not, we need to jump on it immediately, do cleanup bills, whatever the thing is. But the agency is going to have a lot of authority here. And so we all have to show up at the regulations. In fact, I'm sure CalRecycle will be putting up a listserv for this bill to notify people who want to track SB 54 implementation. And then you would get automatic emails saying, okay, there's going to be a hearing. Here's the latest thing that we're looking at. But the regulations development is going to be very critical to how this works. So, I'm going to be all over it. Because this is really important that this work and be a good model.
Well, that makes me feel better that you're going to be all over it. And then we did have a question from Sharon regarding chasing arrows. Since each state has different recycling system that works, what works for California will not work for all states. So is that still solving the problem of chasing arrows, as California is probably recycling more than most states?
Well, the primary problem the commission determined, and I see Ann Schneider's on. Hi, Ann, she's one of the commissioners. We determined that we can't solve the contamination problem if the public is being lied to on the label. Because what's happening is they're buying things thinking they're recyclable or recycled or compostable, and they're none of those things. And then they put them in the wrong container, but to them, they're being signaled to that this was recycled, so they put it in the recycling bin. Then we have to sort it all out, and that costs more money. And then everybody's wondering why their bills are going up. They're buying recyclable things and put them into the right bin. So we have to start with truth in labeling. If we don't get that right, the public can't help us by buying the right thing. The free market is broken if people can be lied to on the label, and companies there's no recourse against these companies. I mean, one of the commissioners, Jandel with Last Beach Cleanup, she's sued companies and won because they were falsely advertising if they're recyclable or not. And thank goodness for groups like that doing that. But we shouldn't have to have a major litigation. The state and the government should be preventing these things from coming to market with these improper labels. And so that to me is a really important thing that we need to harmonize across the country. And the good news is we did such a good job on that bill. Companies have actually gone to congressional members and already asked for it to be introduced nationally.
Nice.
But I can say ACC, the American Chemistry Council, I've called them out many times on this. They actually went state by state to change the laws to mandate chasing arrows go onto plastics that had no standard for recyclability. So they created the disharmony. So when they came and started testifying against 343, I'd say, well, if you wanted harmony, why did you create disharmony? I'm trying to fix it. And that because you don't like disharmony doesn't mean you get to lie to public in California. Maybe other states will let you do it, but we're not going to. And so it really is setting the bar for the whole country.
Thank you. And Ann Schneider did add to non-Californians to get a big bill passed in California takes huge work. As the 5th largest economy in the world, what we do here, once we can do it, can make changes all over the world. And like reiterating what you said, and I think we definitely have seen that in the past with other legislation. So I think I'm going to wrap it up to like maybe 2 more questions if you have time for. So there was a question about is this bill on the November ballot, and if so, how is the PR campaign going for it, or when is it on the ballot?
No, the ballot was pulled by the 3 people who signed it. The day the governor would not sign 54 until the 3 ballot signers had given their signature to remove it from the ballot, because the industry negotiated under the premise that we have one or the other, we can't do both, which is fair. So that's what happened. It's no longer on the ballot, and we're all now can focus on getting stuff done. And that's what I want to talk to you about, things you can be doing now, not just waiting for the regulations to start. But we did not preempt local governments. You can continue to pass polystyrene bans. I would highly recommend you do that. And do the things like going to reusables and the campaigns around that, educating people. Those things are all very important, and don't stop doing them. You weren't prevented from doing them in this bill.
Awesome. So I think this will be the last question, unless any of our team wants to add one more. But any insights if FTC green guides will reflect these labeling changes in California?
Great question. We have to stay on that. I've been so busy passing 54, I've not had enough time to track the green guides, but that's another very important thing we should all be watching, because they really should align, and the green guides are actually referenced in 343. So it's very important that those get updated correctly. I'm concerned if it goes too long. And again, I will say one thing to wrap this up. The most important thing, in my opinion, that all of us can be doing right now is finding a local champion, somebody who represents your district that you think would be great on these issues, and get them elected. Volunteer for them, give them money, throw them fundraisers, throw them meet and greets, show up for them. And when they get elected, they're going to remember you and remember your issue, and that you're the issue expert. And that will help tremendously getting the right people. But I have a lot of folks that say, well, I'm not very political, but they'll beat up on me to get a better bill. And I keep saying, well, there's only so much I can do with the legislature we've gotten from the voters. So, I am very active in local campaigns and stuff. And I really encourage you, don't complain, get out there and work for somebody. Find somebody who's your champion, whether they're in Congress or in the local school district. They're all in the political field. They're all going to be able to help in some way, and just get active and support someone that way.
Awesome. Great advice. And thank you for that. So I think we're going to close. There is a really quickly, again, thank you. We are not worthy, Heidi. This has been.
I'm so honored to be here. Thanks for having me. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, this has been so awesome and so informative. And again, like I said, I do hope that we can have you back sometime. And just wanted to really quickly give a call to action for the City of Goleta residents. There's a go-to foodware EPS foam ban that's going to City Council on August 16th. So stay tuned for more details. And that's one way, to Heidi's point, that we can definitely get involved and make sure that we're keeping these items on the focus of our local government and City Council, and our elected leaders know that this is a priority for our community. So I think with that, we're going to close, unless anyone on the team hosting the webinar has anything to add. And
one last thing, if you could thank the legislators that voted yes, and the votes are all on Ledge Info, and I can send them to you, Nadra, but thank the ones who voted for it, and tell them that you want to be there to help them make sure this is successful, because some of them were very scared of the vote. And I really think they should get some positive feedback for doing
Yes, definitely. We would love that information. So, and thank you all the attendees and all the attendees that stayed after. This has been awesome, and enjoy the rest of your Friday afternoon, and see you soon, everyone. Take care.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.